You never think today will be the day everything changes. One moment, you're doing the job you've done 100 times before. The next, you're lying there, pain tightening its grip around you as the noise of the world blurs into a hollow silence. Questions you've never had to ask suddenly feel urgent. Who will stand up for me? How will I keep going? In that split second, the routine becomes a crisis, and you're left wondering if anyone will help you fight for what you've lost. For many in Chicago, that moment is more common than anyone likes to admit. People head out to work, on roofs, in warehouses, driving trucks, believing that hard work alone will protect their families. But the reality is, accidents happen every single day, often when you least expect them. And when they do, the fallout can be overwhelming. Medical bills you can't afford, a paycheck that suddenly disappears, and the fear that you'll never get back to the life you knew. A single slip can turn an ordinary workday into a fight for survival. A 35-year-old roofer here in Chicago started his day like any other, climbing up to repair a 2-story home. In a matter of seconds, he fell and tore his anterior cruciate ligament, ACL, a devastating injury for someone whose strength was his livelihood. Through a workers' compensation claim and subsequent surgical repair, he not only achieved a complete recovery, but was able to return to his physically demanding work, securing a significant $483,000 verdict that recognized the severity of his injury and the impact on his life. This outcome allowed him to rebuild not just his knee, but his future, with compensation that finally delivered justice. Countless others have felt everything slip out of reach in an instant. In 2022, 112,500 non-fatal work-related injuries and illnesses were reported in Illinois alone. Over 40,300 workers were forced to miss at least one day of work. This highlights the sheer volume of incidents impacting the workforce and the growing need for fair compensation and timely legal support. What many people don't realize is that Illinois has been committed to protecting injured workers for generations. In fact, the state was among the very first in the country to pass a workers' compensation law back in 1911. That landmark decision was driven by hard lessons from the Cherry Mine fire of 1909, when 259 men and boys lost their lives underground, a tragedy that forced lawmakers to finally recognize how urgently workers needed protections and legal recourse. This commitment to protecting workers isn't just history, it's a promise that continues today. When accidents strike, a workers' compensation lawyer in Chicago is there to make sure you aren't left to navigate the aftermath alone. From filing your claim to securing rightful compensation and fair settlements, they help injured workers reclaim stability and dignity when everything else feels uncertain. At Rosenfeld Injury Lawyers, you'll find a team that understands a case isn't just paperwork. It's a family's future, a worker's dignity, and the right to heal without fear. When you work with an experienced workers' compensation attorney in Chicago, you're not just filing forms, you're taking a legal stand to pursue justice, accountability, and the benefits you deserve. If you've been hurt on the job, don't wait for someone else to decide what happens next. Talk to a workers' compensation lawyer in Chicago who will fight for your health, your future, and the compensation you're legally entitled to. Because when everything you've built is on the line, you deserve an advocate who won't back down. Call 888-424-5757 today for a free and confidential consultation. Visit rosenfeldinjurylaw.com for more information and let your voice be heard.